All right, so you're looking to dive into the world of rugged smartwatches, huh? But you're not looking to break the bank on one of those super expensive ultra watches.
Sounds familiar.
So today we're diving deep into this Amazfit T-Rex 3 review, and we'll see if this watch is the real deal or if it's just a cheap wannabe.
I think this review is a great place to start. It looks at all the T-Rex 3's strengths and really digs into whether it can compete with the big boys.
Okay, so first impressions. You look at this thing and you think, whoa, this thing is seriously rugged. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Stainless steel bezel, a big 1.5-inch AMOLED screen. This thing's even made to withstand extreme temperatures, hot or cold.
Yeah, it's definitely not afraid of a little heat or cold. I think what impressed the reviewer the most, though, was the 2,000 nits of brightness.
Oh, wow.
Which is super important for being able to see the display when you're outside.
Right, readability.
Exactly. Imagine you're hiking on a sunny day. You don't want to have to go find some shade just to see your map or a message.
Yeah.
And it's also got those dedicated buttons. It's not just a touch screen, which is really smart. Touchscreens can be a real pain if you're wearing gloves or if it starts to rain.
Oh, for sure. That's a really good point. And speaking of being out in the elements, this thing is supposed to be a serious adventure smartwatch, right?
That's right.
It's not just some marketing thing. This thing tracks your diving metrics down to 45.5 meters.
Yeah, it's not messing around.
Of course, it's got all the regular fitness and workout tracking stuff too, but diving metrics, that's hardcore.
Yeah, and you know what else is really important for adventurers? Accurate tracking.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're somewhere where your phone might lose signal. Like if you're hiking in the mountains or something. The T-Rex 3 has dual band GPS that uses 6 different satellite systems.
Wow. Okay.
It's like having a backup for your backup. So even if you're deep in a canyon, you're not going to get lost. And being able to download offline maps straight to the watch is a game changer for serious expeditions.
That's awesome.
No more messing around with complicated file transfers or anything like that. You just download them right to the watch. You're good to go.
Okay, so it's rugged. It's got your back in the wilderness. Sounds pretty good so far. Let's talk about the smarts, the brains of this thing. So the review mentions something about ZPP-OS.
Yeah, that's their operating system.
Sounds pretty intuitive.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty user-friendly.
But what I found really interesting was the mention of an AI assistant powered by OpenAI's GPT 4.0 model.
Now that is seriously cool.
Now that's just cool. But what can it actually do besides, write me a sonnet in the style of Shakespeare?
Well, I'm not sure about the Shakespearean sonnets just yet.
Okay.
But this is where things get really interesting. We've seen AI assistants on smartwatches before.
Yeah.
But having GPT 4.0 on your wrist, this is a whole new ballgame. This is next level stuff. And it's not about, taking over the world or anything like that, at least not yet. It's about making your life easier, more efficient.
Okay, I like that.
For example, imagine being able to reply to a message without having to dig your phone out of your backpack, or maybe getting a quick summary of your workout stats just by asking.
Oh, that's cool.
It's about streamlining those little interactions and making information more accessible.
All right.
Pretty slick.
That's really cool. Oh, GPT 4.0 on my wrist, that's pretty wild when you think about it. But let's go back to these GPS features for a sec. How easy is this thing to use for navigation? I mean, can I just glance at it and figure it out? Or am I going to need the instruction manual every 5 seconds?
The reviewer actually found the T-Rex 3 pretty intuitive to use for navigation, especially with those offline maps.
Okay, right.
Because you can just download them straight to the watch. No need to connect to a computer or anything like that. And they even have, get this, 3 different map types.
Oh, wow.
You can choose whichever level of detail is best for whatever kind of adventure you're on.
3 different map types. That's really cool. So it sounds like this watch is really, they're really marketing it towards these hardcore adventurers, right?
Yeah, seems like it.
But what about your average, everyday person? Like, what if I'm just looking for a smartwatch that can keep up with my busy life? Is there anything in this T-Rex 3 for me?
Oh, absolutely. If you think about that crazy battery life.
Right.
Imagine only having to charge your smartwatch once a week.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you're using it every single day.
Oh, wow. That's game-changing.
It really is a game changer for anybody who's sick of their devices dying right when they need them. No more running around looking for a charger in the middle of the day.
I've been there, for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's a really nice perk. And, let's be real. This thing's built like a tank. I feel like you could, drop it. It could fall off your wrist, whatever. It's going to be fine.
Exactly. No need to baby this smartwatch. A few bumps and scratches aren't going to hurt this thing,
Right.
which is kind of refreshing, honestly, when you think about all those other smartwatches out there, that are so delicate. You don't need to wrap this one in bubble wrap.
Right.
But let's get back to those smart features for a sec. We talked about the AI assistant, but what about any other features? Like, are there any safety features that might be useful for adventurers?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I was curious about that too, like an SOS feature or something.
So that's actually one area where the T-Rex 3 is kind of lacking.
Really?
It's got the durability and tracking down pat, but it doesn't have any dedicated safety features like an SOS beacon or a siren.
Huh.
Which the reviewer actually pointed out as a potential downside.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for a watch that's trying to appeal to adventurers.
Interesting. So it's kind of a mixed bag there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, let's talk about the big question, the price.
Right.
At $199, it seems, I don't know, almost too good to be true. Are they cutting corners somewhere to make it that affordable?
Well, that's the thing. It's significantly cheaper than all those ultra watches out there.
Right.
And sure, it might not have every single bell and whistle, but it really excels in the areas that matter most for, outdoor enthusiasts.
Right.
Like durability, battery life, accurate tracking. Those are the big ones.
So it comes down to priorities, right?
Exactly. If you're somebody who prioritizes functionality and longevity, over constant connection, having every single app,
Right.
then the T-Rex 3 is a really fantastic option.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot. We've talked about the T-Rex 3's rugged build, its amazing battery life, its advanced GPS, even that really cool AI assistant. But before we finish up, I wanted to touch on the lack of a speaker.
Okay.
Because that seems like kind of a big deal to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
No music, no phone calls. Is that a deal breaker, or is that something you can live with?
It's definitely a trade-off.
Right.
I mean, no speaker means you can't stream music on your hike or answer a call right on your wrist.
Right.
But you get that incredible battery life that we've been talking about and better water resistance.
Okay.
It really just comes down to what's more important to you. Do you want all the bells and whistles?
Yeah.
Or do you want peace of mind knowing that your watch can handle anything you throw at it?
Right. And it's not going to die on you in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in wanting all the extra features, but sometimes you got to think, do I really need all that?
Yes.
Especially if it means sacrificing battery life and how tough the thing is.
For sure.
So it sounds like, to sum it all up, the Amazfit T-Rex 3 is a really solid option for someone who wants a smartwatch that's tough, reliable, and doesn't cost an arm and a leg. What would you say stood out the most to you about this watch?
For me, it's got to be the battery life. It's incredible. In a world where we're always looking for a charger for something, having a smartwatch that can last for weeks on a single charge, that's a game changer. And it's not like they had to sacrifice core features to get it, The GPS is accurate. You can download maps. It's impressive.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It makes you think, are we starting to see a trend here? Are people starting to realize that maybe they don't need to be connected 24/7?
It's an interesting thought, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need every single bell and whistle, every notification blowing up our wrists. Maybe sometimes a device that just does what it's supposed to do and does it well is all you need.
It's something to think about, that's for sure. Well, there you have it. The Amazfit T-Rex 3, a budget-friendly smartwatch that's ready for anything. It's tough, it's reliable, and it's not afraid of a little adventure. What more could you ask for?